Welcome back. If you're new here, I'm Ilya Lamin, and today I really wanted to take a look at those aerial electric vehicles that becoming more and more popular that people call eVTOLs. And I really want to understand are there some basically some gadgets, some new gadgets, or is there real impact on businesses and on the economy in general? So let's jump right in. I'll just put myself aside here. Here we go. So when I first uh, saw those type of vehicles, um, my first impression was that I saw basically eight propellers. I thought to myself, well, it will have the same capabilities as helicopters. There's a vertical takeoff and landing. Probably they will have the same speed as helicopters, and obviously with the limited range because they basically they have a battery. The electric batteries do not have fuel. Obviously, they cannot have as much energy, stored as within an helicopter. So I thought to myself, what will be the advantages of those vehicles, or that they're simply a new cool gadgets for recreational purposes. So I thought to myself, well, there will be no advantages versus an helicopter. So I mean, they will not even compete with the helicopters. Um, they will not replace helicopters, that's for sure. But do they have some advantages that the helicopters don't have? Other than they don't emit any exhaust, they don't emit any CO2 because you know, they have battery and electric motors. They don't have an exhaust engine. So at a certain point, I decided to look at certain aspect that usually people don't look at, and to examine, analyze, and estimate the operational cost of those vehicles, mainly the maintenance cost and the cost of energy consumption. And there's something pretty shocking and remarkable that I kind of discovered. Because you see, within an helicopter, when it comes to maintenance, the the maintenance of to be honest, the maintenance of a helicopter is highly expensive. After a certain amount of hours, helicopters need to be maintained basically because they have a what's called a turboshaft engine, which is highly complicated. It has a bunch of systems, not only mechanical but also all systems that are kind of support them without going into all those technicalities. But just the maintenance of the engines are expensive and they need to be maintained quite often. Not mentioning all the mechanical and sometimes hydraulic systems that goes into basically making the main rotor and the tail rotor work. Those are also need to be maintained quite often. That's why I decided, to take a look. And if we compare it to the cheapest helicopter that exists on the market, which is basically Robinson R22, it costs, when it comes to operational cost, maintenance, and the consumption of energy, which in this case is fuel, it costs approximately at least $200 per hour of flight into that goes into operational cost. And if that helicopter operate or flies for 500 hours during a year, which is not a lot, it will cost $100,000 just to maintain it and providing it with the fuel, just to make it work without including all other fees, obviously, including insurance. So compare it to that type of vehicle, which is mainly a bunch of electric motors that that provides the propulsions to those propellers, and that runs basically those propellers. Bunch of electric motors that are directly connected to a battery. Yes, you have also electrical and electronic systems, but those don't need as much maintenance. But if you look at the system itself, it's quite much more simpler. And electric motors, you could easily replace them, and they don't require as much maintenance as a turboshaft engine, traditional turboshaft engine that we see within the helicopters. And when I did the analysis and the estimation, I estimate that actually it will cost, in terms of operational cost, at least 80 to 90% less to operate those type of vehicles. And if that number is true, I mean, $10,000 compared to $100,000, it's actually at 10 times, fold 10 times less. And if those numbers are true, this means that those vehicles actually are not really a recreational vehicles. I know at this point a lot of companies that they're trying to manufacture them, they try to market them as recreational vehicles. But even with a limited range, because they don't have as much energy within batteries compared to fuel, obviously, when you compare to weight versus energy provided, even with a limited range, they actually become a highly cost-effective and affordable way to transport goods and probably, at some point, even people. So with that idea, I thought to myself, well, that could have a major impact on businesses and on the economy, because you have the introduction of a highly cost-effective, highly affordable vehicle that could transport people and goods, probably between cities. Obviously, there's a bunch of other challenges, including regulations that comes with the type of aircraft. But just on if you look at the financial aspect and on the cost of those vehicles, they become kind of a game changer if those numbers are pretty much true. So that's it for today. So what do you think? Do you think those vehicles will have some future? Do you think just a recreational vehicles, or the true potential of those vehicles becoming a new means of transportation between cities, or even within cities, or between countries or between regions? What do you think? So leave your comments in the comment section, and see you in the next one.